We live in them, we work in them, we spend most of our lives inside them, but we almost never stop to think about their massive environmental footprint. It turns out the very buildings that shelter us are one of the biggest climate challenges we face. So today, we're unpacking the blueprint for a greener future: sustainable buildings. Okay, let's just start with a number that might actually shock you. Almost 40%, 39% of all global carbon emissions come from our buildings. Just to put that into perspective, that's more than every car, truck, plane, and ship on the planet combined. It's a huge number, and it puts our homes and offices right at the center of the climate conversation. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the problem. Then we'll define what a green building actually is. We'll dive into the playbook of strategies, figure out how we measure what's really green, and then we'll take a peek into the future of these amazing structures. All right, first up, let's really get a handle on the scale of this issue, because the structures we live and work in every day are in a lot of ways the hidden culprit in the climate story. And this visual, it says it all, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the problem, buildings as a major source of pollution. But on the other, you see the incredible potential. It's a powerful reminder that if our buildings are a massive part of the problem, well, that means they can be an even more powerful part of the solution. Which, of course, brings us to the solution itself. So what on earth do we mean when we talk about a green building? Let's nail down a clear definition. At its heart, it's this: creating structures that are responsible and efficient for their entire life. And that last part, that's the absolute key. We're not just talking about the time when people are using the building. We are talking about the whole shebang, from the very first design sketch, through construction, its day-to-day operation, all the way to its eventual renovation or even deconstruction. You can really boil this whole philosophy down to 4 core goals. 1, save resources. We're talking energy, water, even the land itself. 2, actively protect the environment/pollution. 3, this is a big one, make the spaces healthy and comfortable for the people actually inside them. And 4, the grand idea, make sure the building works with nature, not against it. But how do we actually do all that? What's the game plan? Well, let's open up the playbook. And what's so cool here is that the best strategies are often this amazing mix of cutting-edge tech and wisdom that's literally centuries old. A great place to start is with the literal building blocks. Seriously, the choice of materials can make or break a building's green credentials right from the get-go. Take bamboo. This isn't your typical timber. It's what experts call a rapidly renewable material. Why? Because it grows insanely fast. It can be ready to harvest in just a few years, not the decades it takes for many hardwood trees. Plus, it's incredibly strong and versatile, a perfect sustainable swap. Now, this is where things get really fascinating. Let's talk about design. A hot topic in modern green building is passive cooling, basically using the building's own design to stay cool without cranking the AC. But this is hardly a new idea. Look at Vastu Shastra, a traditional Indian system of architecture. They mastered this concept centuries ago. And here's a perfect example of that in action. This is a Nadumuttam, a central courtyard common in traditional homes in Kerala, India. It's a work of genius. It acts like a natural chimney. See, the warm air inside the house rises and escapes through the open courtyard. This creates a tiny bit of low pressure, which then pulls cooler, fresh air in from below. It's a self-powering air conditioner. Of course, it's not just about air. Water is just as precious. Modern green buildings are all about low-flow toilets and faucets and smart systems to harvest rainwater. But again, capturing rain isn't some new tech invention. It's a technique that has been at the heart of traditional homes for generations, making sure not a single drop goes to waste. And finally, there's this beautifully simple idea. Think local. When you use materials like earth, stone, or clay that are sourced right there from the region, you get this amazing triple win. You slash carbon emissions from transport, you support the local economy, and you get buildings that just feel right, like they truly belong to the place they're in. Okay, so we've got this great playbook full of smart ideas. But let's be honest, we hear the word green everywhere. How do we actually know if a building is the real deal? How do you measure it? Well, for a huge part of the world, the answer is a system called LEED. That stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, and it's basically the global gold standard. Think of it like a trusted scorecard, a clear, verifiable way to measure what makes a building truly high performance. So how does it work? Well, LEED looks at a building across a bunch of key categories and gives it points for how well it does in each one. It checks everything: how efficient is it with energy and water, are the materials sustainable, and even how healthy is the air quality for the people inside. All right, for our final section, let's look ahead. Because being sustainable is the foundation, right? But the next big leap is making our buildings not just green, but intelligent. The future is all about something called a building automation system, or BAS. This is literally giving a building its own central brain. This brain can monitor and control everything: lights, heat, AC, security, all on its own, constantly tweaking things to be as efficient and comfortable as possible without anyone having to lift a finger. It's really a simple three-step loop that runs 24/7. First, sensors are the eyes and ears, gathering data. Is this room empty? Is the sun shining on that window? Second, controllers, the brain, analyze all that info. And third, actuators take action. They dim the lights, adjust the thermostat, you name it. Sense, think, act. It's that simple. And it gets even better. The next frontier isn't just about buildings that sip energy. It's about buildings that actually produce it. Just imagine, buildings that not only power themselves with solar panels, but generate so much extra juice that they sell it back to the community's smart grid. They stop being energy consumers and start becoming mini power plants. So, you see, we come full circle, right back to that core definition. It's all about being responsible and efficient through every single stage of a building's life. It's a way of seeing a building not as a chunk of concrete and steel, but as a living, breathing system with a past, a present, and a future. When you think about it, our buildings have always been a mirror, reflecting our values back at us. For centuries, our skylines have screamed power and commerce and ambition. So the question this leaves us with is a big one. What will tomorrow's skyline, a skyline built on these green, smart, and soulful principles, say about us?